Hey guys, the drama keeps getting crazier on Shades of Blue, the after show coming up.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Good intro, because you don't know what's going to come once the beat drops to the song, but I love it.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly how this episode started. Like, it started kind of crazy, but you didn't know what was about to happen.
Not at all.
What's going on? And then they backtrack into, like, leading up until that time.
Everything went down. Just like the song intro says, please allow me to introduce myself. The chaos has come again. Like the episode title is, it's come again.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us. I'm Lynneisha, and you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Lynneisha_33. And
hello everyone, I am Taquaila Jackson. As always, you can be social with me at Taquaila_I am.
And like we said, the chaos. So it starts off with this shooting, which we're going to get into.
Definitely.
But it was so crazy the way that they started off.
It was.
So intense. And then it was still intense at the end when you see everything play out.
And I think I wanted to keep with the shootout to start the show that way. I mean, of course, I'm not a writer, but I wanted it to... that intensity, because I've been waiting since last week to see what officer was down, what was happening, what went on. But I guess we'll get to that when we come through in the end.
They had to have like the build up, you know.
They build it up all right for me, because I was waiting.
They did. But we kind of start off with the girl that was in the shootout.
Yeah, Miss AK, and, automatic shooter, sweetie.
Happy trigger. Like, yeah. So her son is missing.
Right.
And, you know, she kind of tricked the AI. She was kind of smart. Well, she wanted to be off the books and didn't really want anyone to know who she was. So that was a good thing, kind of, for them in the precinct, since you have that Virgo snooping around everywhere, doing everything.
All the time.
But so her son was missing. So, of course, they go to try to help her out, you know, and look for him. Because he is a child, even though she was on the opposing side and had an AK right to their face.
Right.
But it's a child involved. So they, you know, all, you know, team together again to go look for him. Even Waz wanted to, you know, include Tufo to help look for this kid.
I was a little surprised though. That's pretty bold. Like yesterday you had an AK in my face ready to pop off, and now today you want the grace for me to help you find your son. I am the police. That is my duty to protect and serve. But the way Wise and his team set up, I don't. That was a pretty bold move for her. I'm glad she did go to him though, and I'm glad they helped.
Yeah, but you know what? Since you say that, I think with everything that happened and the way the standoff went, I think she realized that these cops aren't by the book.
Right.
Clearly. So in this case, I probably can go to them for help without getting myself in trouble.
Right.
And I think that's what she thought about. Like, if she would go to regular police officers, she would be involved too. She would get in trouble as well.
And possibly. Was it Tufo who, when they were at the house, they were like, "Are we about to go through this, or are we about to do this in front of your son?" And then that's when she makes a, was it Loman?
She's not gonna shoot him in front of
that's
her
what
son,
it was.
That's what she
right.
came to at the exactly. She came to talk to Loman,
exactly. So that olive branch was there. She remembered that part. He at least protected my son, so maybe he'll do his due justice too, and now help me find him. Yeah.
But then that leads up to was it Quince?
Quince.
I want to say Quincy, but it leads up to Quince, the drug dealer that Tufo's brother was involved with, and he had the poor baby pushing drugs.
Yes. You know, it's sad, but it's really a reality. That's true. Really a real reality in some of these inner cities. It is. But I wanted more anger from the mother. Like, when Tufo was in the car with her and he was questioning her, like, "Do you know that this was happening? Did you know what was going on?" I wasn't too comfortable with her answer when she said no.
She knew a little bit.
Yes.
I think she knew.
Yeah.
But didn't want to get herself in trouble too much. So I think she knew something. She may not have known the extent of it, but I think she knew something. She knew her child was. I mean, you have your kid there with everything you're doing. Your child's going to be exposed.
And
he
didn't run. He seen y'all ready to pop off against the police. The police coming at y'all. He just sitting there peeping it off. Exactly. So like that is true.
They would be terrified and
run, cry, hysterically.
Yes, kind of crazy. And he was just like, "Oh, who's gonna get shot first?" You know what I mean? Like, he's taking a bet in his head, possibly. You know,
right?
So yeah, that was kind of crazy.
I do want to say too, I thought once they were in that restaurant and she handed over the bag, I thought something was going to go down between her and Quince, and she was actually going to shoot him with the gun inside. glad that didn't happen, because then he would be motherless. But I thought that was gonna happen. So
what I was disappointed about is Virgo followed them.
Oh yeah.
And was taking pictures. And then in that moment when she lifted the gun from the bag, like, oh, this wasn't here earlier, and just boo, 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 he got all those snaps. Yes. He was just.
But you know, I think Wise kind of saved himself, because he drew up the paperwork for Wallace, Tufo's brother, to be used as an informant, so he could kind of, you know, build that story again. It's going to be bluffing, it's going to be a lie, but he can kind of build that story of that was what was going down, and that's kind of why they also seen exactly, and you seen him hit Quince because of that. And you can say, when you're involved in an incident like that, where there's a child pushing drugs for a grown-up, you might be able to get hit too. It was a lot of stomach punches this episode. I think I counted 3.
So speaking of that, when Tess
but that one I loved. That one I didn't see that one coming, not at all.
Like, okay, is everyone away? Okay, in the gut.
Yes.
Like, now you run your mouth again. Like, that's exactly kind of like.
And I'm glad Loman took it. He knows he's wrong though. Yeah. So he knew he was really wrong. You see that when he tried to go back and ask Nate for the tape, and Nate was like, well, prepared to be disappointed. It's not gonna happen. But I was glad he just took it. He didn't try to argue with Tess. He didn't try to come back and rebuttal or say this is what I was doing.
Maybe he's starting to come around now. You know, because we've been these last few episodes thinking that he's on the fence and maybe he's going to be the one to turn, or he's just going to do something. But he's starting to come around now. And I like when he really said, when Tess was telling him about his problems, his issues, and his, you know, demeanor towards everything, the way he's acting. And he's like, oh, well, why? Because I killed an unarmed man? And she's like, no. And then he answered, oh, because I got away with it.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's it there. Yeah. That's exactly it.
And I think also, jumping back towards the end again, where he tells Wise, oh, we're going to get these men that did this to them. Wise already knows that. But Loman has to know again in the back of his mind that whoever did this to Nate, they're going to be getting him off the books. It's not going to be anything legal about how they go after whoever this person was that shot up Wise's house.
Like, going to kill him or try to kill them.
Exactly.
So, this cannot be on the
so
books.
I think he's totally confused of the family net that he does have with the team, but then his intelligence, his mind, to where he wants to be moral and by the books. Like, you got to pick a side.
It's a struggle for him. And it's totally understandable, but at this point, like you said, since you got away with killing an unarmed man and black men, so black on black, like that would have been a huge thing.
Exactly.
You walked away from a lot, like your life, your career, everything would have been over. So they saved your job, they saved your life.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to realize that, and then just start to jump on board more. You know what I mean? Or walk away completely. That's the thing. So if you're gonna be there, then be there, and then if not, then he needs to just walk away altogether.
And then when he went outside outside with Wise, when Wise went to cover Harlee and Tess while they was trying to take Nate to the hospital, he was the backup for him. So he was like, you know, Wise, we are here because of you. And Wise was like, well, I did my job. But I think this instant, he's going to be on the team now. He's not going to waver back and forth. He's there totally. Even when he went back into the office and he seen Nate talking to Virgo, it was like, oh no, what are they talking about? He's telling Virgo everything I said on that tape, and he went in busted in, nervous a little bit, but he tried to like calm it down or just open up to be like, okay, no, none of what I said was true, or just try to cover his tracks, but he didn't need to at that point.
Yeah, and I liked how Nate picked up on that and was like, oh, okay, yeah, we can talk. He's like, oh, I can do that interview now, even though they've already talked.
Right.
So like how he picked up on that, but like Virgo, he's not on the level of Stahl, but he's just so sneaky. I mean, I guess that's his job. You know, he has to investigate them, but it's like he called the office phone so that he could listen in to their conversation. So that's I really was like, oh, please do not say anything.
That's why I was waiting for you. Don't drop any bomb. Just keep it like tag words that you and Nate know, and that's it. But my thing is too, he left that in there on his phone. That's Wise's office. There's no telling what else he can hear or what else he will hear to come in the next episodes.
Well, hopefully it was just the phone, so hopefully it'll won't it hang up after a while?
Static, start buzzing, you know.
That battery ain't nothing.
Right.
In a few hours,
it'll be all right. By the time we got back to the office in the morning,
But speaking of phones, Christina still texting with Stahl,
William Clark. Yes.
And when she came back, I guess, from the aunt's house, so, you know, lying to her mom just to kind of get that time to go and see Stahl.
Right.
And I like that she picked up on his weirdness finally.
Yes, I did too.
Because he was being a creep and he was being really pushy with her. He brought that the envelope that he had with the numbers
54,
on it.
57, 4 F.
Yeah, it's like Saperstein's plot to where he's buried. But before Stahl didn't know that, so he's like, well, what is this? It has something to do with Saperstein. Did you know him well? And Christina's like, I mean, well, yeah, he was, you know, a part of the crew, a part of the family. Well, you can talk to his mom. Like, I don't want to do that. That's kind of crossing the line.
Exactly.
And he was steady pushing like she was an adult, or like he needed to get this out of her. And it's like, calm down.
And he was trying to tie it into Miguel, but Christina wasn't feeling that, and she just that's I think what made her alert, because like, okay, now you're trying to get questions about Sap, and now like I really just want to know about my dad, and you're not helping me. You're trying to have your own agenda. I think that's where she started like, okay, no, I need to get away. When she went back
to try to ask about her dad, and he was still pushing the whole issue with Saperstein, and she picked up on it, right? She and he was even like, oh, I can give you a ride. She's like, oh no, that's okay. And I was like, she's smart. That's Harley's child. Yes, you're not gonna get over on her.
Kind of had me on the edge of not liking her for a minute, but she returned that around this episode for me, definitely.
She did.
Also, when she told her mom too, towards the end, led me to assume that she told Harley about William Clark, because she asked, you know, well, did you find out anything, or were you able to call William Clark? And we know stomach shot number 2 came in with Stahl, and that one I loved it.
Oh, I loved it.
Every bit of it.
Harley's walk up to him.
Ooh, yes.
I was expecting a slap, but that's Harley. I should have known better. I should have known better. She punched the shit out of that
straight
dude.
to the gut. She sure did.
Like,
and then I think what was even worse too is that his boss was there. So I was like, ooh, and she was like, you're going to have a disciplinary hearing. Like, it's going to be tomorrow morning or whenever it will be. And you should abide by what I'm saying right now, or I'll give Harley the authority to punch you again.
Like, Harley's like, I don't need permission.
I like that though. So he didn't have no way out there. He couldn't say nothing because he would reveal too many of his cards.
He was trying, like, oh, I just, went through an unconventional way. And she's like, well, that may be more illegal than, unconventional, because Christina's a minor.
Exactly.
So you really can't do all that and question her and involve her and things like that without the knowledge of her mother.
And or use what she says.
Her other,
Exactly.
That too. Or her father, who is not even alive. You know what I mean? So you want to try to use that, and say that, and then we can trace it back to you impersonating her father, to pretending to be her father.
Impersonating people. I cannot wait till Harley finds out that he's the one, or well, she did find out. Let me back that up. So she found out going into the Caddy situation that he was the one getting Caddy overdose, keep supplying him with the drugs. And I felt bad because when she was on her way to his house, I was like, darn, she's 2 minutes too late, he died. And I just knew as soon as he got in there. But when she finds out, or when she's able to let loose on Stahl, whenever that comes, let's say 7 seasons from now, we need the drama. I just hope that Caddy's apartment wasn't bugged too. Like, I hope Stahl didn't do that as well.
Because he loves to drop a bug. That's good. I didn't even think about that.
And then he even heard Harley's confession that she told Wise about her killing Miguel. So I'm really, 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 really crossing my fingers that Caddy's apartment was not bugged. Computer, you know how he does. Computers, phones, whatever it is.
Whatever he can, he will place a bug.
I hope that's not the case.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because that's, I mean, he basically has Harley then, if that's the case.
And like Wise told Harley, what he say? She was, terrified, like, no one near me is safe. And then Wise was like, well, except the ones you keep safe. Harley was like, until I stop them.
Right, yeah.
So when I seen her trying to re-up at that store, the warehouse store.
She was packing everything. Get the zip ties, get the turf.
She had the cashier scared.
Right? He's like, how's your day going?
She was like, improving. I was like, ooh, Harley, you my girl. You my girl.
I think she might be like my favorite TV character.
I think so too.
I love her.
But I was surprised that she kept her cool. She kept her cool throughout the whole episode, though. Like, I mean, after she released that anger she had with Stahl, that let it go, and he reined her in, as Daddy Wise does. Yeah. She kept her cool for the rest of it, and I was proud of her.
Yeah.
And I was even proud of her for not, like, lashing out at Christina.
I was gonna say that too. I am.
Yes.
And it hurt her to go about it the way she did. Like she said, she had to play her own daughter.
Right.
But I think that's better than to go and to question her like that. And even if later Christina finds out that she was kind of probing her, that way and trying to figure it out without coming to her, it's like, well, at this point, she's not really just gonna come straight out. You're still young, you know what I mean? You're still a child in that sense. If you were older, she may be able to come to you, talk to you woman to woman, but you're not a woman yet. You know what I mean? So she still is in that protective mode, and I can't really come to you face to face in this moment, but I don't want to accuse you either, you know, because we've already, you know, they've already kind of had that, and they've gone, you know, butted heads before.
And then it'll go back to just Harley lying, because Christina's ultimate end goal is to find her father.
Yeah.
Harley killed him. That's going to create a rift between the relationship when that does come to the realization and the light shown.
It will. So that's going to crush Christina.
So partly Harley still has to guard what she says and what she tells Christina because of that. Yeah.
And I like that she did share that story with her, took her to the park, the carousel, and kind of, you know, showed, you know, Christina Miguel in a good light. You know, in a good way.
And she always has. She just never, she told her about how she was abused by him, but their relationship was always good. My other thing with that, side note, with Harley going to I'll have to find it when it comes to that page. Sorry.
No worries. Okay, so what else do we want to talk about?
Can I make a point really quickly? So I love Tufo. I love him to pieces. But how's he doing police work when he turned in his badge? I was wondering that the whole episode until at the end. And it's him too, quite honestly, even though he's hurt, or maybe say was hurt by the truth and everything that came out, he still was there. He hasn't taken any time to separate himself at all, because that is his family. That's where he belongs. So I was glad at the end Wise told him about the paper, his brother being an informant, and that he wrote him up so that even if Quince does say the Wallace was involved, he was like, well, he was an informant for Wise. So. You seen him cry again. Seen Tufo cry again. But at the same time, that's a great point for Wise to say, well, it's only police work, and police work do this. And he hands him his badge again, so he picks it up and he's like looking at it. This is where you belong.
Yes, I like that part.
This is where you belong.
Give him back his badge.
Exactly.
So I'm happy about that, because like you said, he really didn't even ever go anywhere.
No.
You know, he just wasn't on the books, but nothing they do is on the books. So did you really even leave?
No.
I mean? Like, you never really could.
Not at all.
So.
And speaking of leaving, Espada being transferred to the school safety division. I don't think that's going to last long. Number one, I thought that was hilarious. Number two, but I was glad to see him back at the end when they were all at the hospital. What I didn't see, was he at the house?
He was at the house too.
Okay, so that's what I wasn't for sure though. Okay, so he was at the.
Him and Harley left to take Nate to the hospital.
That's who it was. Okay, I thought it was Tess, but when they showed him through the window, I was like, no, that was Espada. So thank you for correcting me. Okay.
And then I just want to jump back to the scene with Harley and Stahl.
Okay.
So like after she punched him and everything like that, and she was, you know, like, don't ever touch my daughter again, don't ever mess with her, things like that.
Right.
And then, you know, a little crazy came back and was like, you know, Harley said something. I should have wrote that down as well, but Harley said something, and then Stahl replied and like, yeah, but you'll ask for mercy. What is wrong with this guy?
Oh, because he got again, second time. And he's not appreciative of it.
Kill each other,
oh,
basically.
Yes. But
this
it's
going to be a showdown at some point.
It will be, yes. And it goes, number one, to his obsession with just Harley. He's in love with her, that one. And then number two, he's trying to get an angle and use her to the best of his ability so he can win whatever this case is now. Because, like his manager said, or his boss said, that his angle was for Julia. Well, he done went to so many different people and so many angles, so we don't really know what his end game is or who he's trying to all take down at once.
Why are they? They're still trying to get through Julia to get to Bianca.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Because I'm like, well,
because initially it was just Julia because she was part of killing his partner. Yeah. When we find out that was a lie and he had to play a part to play in that. So yeah, I just don't know. Again, when that showdown does come, because he's crazy. I think because he is obsessed with Harley and he has just no thought process. He just goes for what he wants, and he's really selfish, and he has no one to care about now. We never even really seen what happened. I guess he didn't get custody, full custody, partial custody of his son. So son and wife are gone. Okay. So he doesn't have no one to look out after but himself. So when you like that, and it's just me against the world.
I was gonna say he has nothing to lose.
Nothing
that's a
at
scary
all.
person to deal with when
Exactly.
they don't have anything to lose because they are not afraid of their consequences.
Nah, not at all.
So that is very dangerous and also a little crazy. That's his new name,
Little crazy.
So he finally, instead of since he saw he was getting nowhere with Christina, he decides to go to Saperstein's mom.
Yes.
To try to find out what the numbers were that he found in Caddy's apartment.
I like how she shut him down, though. I felt bad for him because she was like, what do you want? And he was like, I'm trying to help. He thought he was trying to be helpful. And he was like, well, can you tell me what 574F means? And she was like, that has nothing to do with his murder. That's his plot where he's buried. And I was like, oh, yeah, shut him down, Mom. Thanks.
Yeah,
tell him to go get something.
Now I'm wishing she just had said it it has nothing to do with that and left it at that.
Yes.
Because he heard it was the burial. Now he goes to buy a shovel and dig it up.
And what does he find?
He found a tooth.
Yes.
Which I believe belongs to Miguel.
I'm with you on that one. I do
because
believe.
we saw at some point Harlee said something. I want to say she's tried to switch it out and replace, because that was already a plot. So you think Saperstein is there, and I think she replaced Saperstein's body with Miguel's and put Miguel in that plot.
I think so too.
We saw she was pulling out his teeth. Because even at that, I was like, oh my God,
yeah.
how can you do that? I understand it, but how can you do that? And she must have dropped one because he just found it.
And it was like a layer or two of him digging, and it was there already.
It was
so, right.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking,
a tooth is better than a fingerprint.
Yes. And then we see previews for next week's show that he's asking for DNA or to run the DNA on that tooth. So that's not going to be too good. But I do think it's going to be a mystery once we get to the DNA. I still think Miguel's body is in the grave, and they'll figure out, Harlee or somebody will figure out a lie or to say what happened or whatever the case may be. Now it's just her because Caddy's dead, so he can't say or go to Caddy and threaten him because he was the help. That was it. And now Harlee just has it on her own shoulders, which I think she would prefer, even though family and close friends are dying or being hurt by everything that's going on. But I think the writers are going to give us a twist in it somehow.
Yeah,
I do. So. I hope so too, because
it's too early for it to lead back to Harlee right away. Because she could go down for that. So it's a little too early for him to totally figure it out all the way.
I am total agreement.
But it's going to be those baby steps and then a little twist to see how he's going to try to put all those pieces together.
Pieces together. Can we talk about this shootout?
Let's go.
Look, we were watching, everyone. I had to get Lynneisha to stop. Wait, hold on. Put the show on pause. Hold on. Huh? She had no clue. It was just so much that happened so fast.
And I wasn't. It's so, and I love when writers and the producer, it was directed very well, written well, because they started out with the shootout, so we already knew it was going to happen. But I think they already built that anticipation of it's going to happen, but you don't know how it's going to happen.
But see, that exactly, and that's what threw me off. Because like I said last week, I've been waiting to see what officer was down, but it took my attention off because Nate came through the door and Waz is all excited. Everybody's in the house, they're at the table eating, doing whatever they're doing, and he's like, oh yeah, Nate, let's do the interview. Everyone's here now, you can talk to us all. And Nate's kind of reserved a little bit, no. Side note, bombshell, when he asked Waz, are you gay? Straight up, no chaser. Right. Are you gay? So that was shocking to me. But then just the way they're sitting there, Waz threatens him after asking, is he gay? He threatens him or promised, whatever you want to call it. And then he gets shot, and it just erupts after that. That's why I was just
you were not expecting that.
No, not at all.
They stand up, and then when, like you said, Waz is threatening, and you mentioned that again, that'll be the last conversation we have, and then plop, plop, plop. And at first, for a minute, for a really quick second, I almost thought Waz shot him because of the way it kind of went.
And it was off of the camera. It was off of his shoulder. So looking at his son.
I was like, okay, he didn't do that, but just for a quick second, it kind of appeared to be that way.
Right.
But then we just and he was shot twice, 2 or 3 times,
4, 5. It was too many to count.
Man, it was. Whew. And then I feel like it took everyone a minute to kind of realize what was
going on.
Everyone didn't get down right away.
No.
They were still at the table kind of like, wait, what? Like, what just happened?
And then they realized that it was Nate, and then Wise was still up because he was in shock. And Harley's yelling at him, get down, get down. And I think I felt bad for him at that moment because here and again, another child that we don't know. Yes. Yeah. And you see it happen in front of your eyes again.
You just said to them.
That's it too. Exactly. So you want to take those words back now.
And I see, like, after, and then once he got down to see him covering, that almost made
yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is my child. I have to cover him now. No, I'm not getting down any lower. You know what I mean? I'm not getting away from him. I'm not letting him go. I have to cover him right now. These shots are still coming. I still have to protect him.
And that, to me, I love how they played in, like, the psychology of Wise's mind as a character, because you've seen him be so tough. And if you ask me that again, and I'm sure he meant it, this will be the last time we talk. Like, there's no thinking that he didn't mean that. But then 2 seconds later, you see how he's defending and protecting his child. I was surprised that he didn't leave to take his son to the hospital. I'm not surprised that he told Harley and put his trust in Harley. That is, you can think of that without a second glance. But I was surprised he didn't go with them too.
But like he said, he was like, he kind of had to stop them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He put his life on the line. He went
did.
outside. Like, everyone's still in the house shooting because the shots are not even stopping.
Right.
It's like they didn't even stop to reload any clips.
You know what? Did you see The Equalizer? Denzel Washington. So you know at the end where he comes out of the warehouse and he has his gun and it's loaded and he just comes out and starts shooting. That's what I felt Wise did today in the show. Like, because he didn't have no protection on, no vest, no bulletproof vest or anything, but he just stepped outside and started chopping off whoever else was there with him. So I feel like, he had to guard his house. He still had to guard his team. Thank you again, Loman, for backing him up, because who knows what would have happened if he just went out there by himself. Alone, but yes, I was like, oh gosh. Okay.
And I like the part when Tufo flipped over the table.
Oh, he did.
You know,
guard.
Like, oh, this is good.
It was.
No, that was
that shootout scene. It had me excited.
It was so intense. Like, seriously, when you asked to stop it, because it kind of snapped me out of it a little bit. Cause I was just so into it, and I'm like, wait, what? What's
I was like, why? That's why I was like, no, wait, stop, because it just went too quick and like so many things happened at once. And I was like, okay, no, wait, hold on. Let me write all of this down. Let me get what I just seen together. So
Yeah. And then because he was doing all that shooting and he was asking them, like, are they in the car yet? Like, he had to protect them. And then it was like, once they were, then that's when he went outside, like, I have to make sure they get away.
Right.
Because, yes, they're in the car. Then whoever was shooting could have turned or even went after the car. So at least if they're being shot at their part, they're not going to go in the direction of the shots.
And, you know, my thing, too, is the suspense of who the shooters were. Like, they have so many people coming from it. Was it Bianchi and his people? Was it Quincy? And now that he presumably locked up, like he had one phone call, go visit this officer, you know? Was it Stahl? Maybe he kind of just went off the deep end because of, you know, his disciplinary here and how Harley set him up. I don't really think it's him, but
he a team and he's alone.
He don't.
It's just him.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even like Julia, where has she been?
Where has she been?
Yeah. Because after the shootout, I mean, where she was and her, or at the studio that they were in when Harley was there with her, like, where is she at? Maybe she decided to choose her own side and go for self.
I think so.
And you kind of have to
these next few episodes,
let Wise
see that,
let his play his hand and see where the cards fall after that. So because
I don't think her loyalty is not going to be with Bianchi anymore, nor Wise. Like,
I don't think so.
She looks at it like I have to save myself.
Yeah, and especially after the shooting that happened in the studio, I think that was more of an eye opener for her too.
She also sees like Bianchi doesn't care either.
No, he's ruthless.
I think that's who it was because I feel like out of the list of people who could be after them, he's the most ruthless.
Yes,
and
I agree.
As many times as they were shooting in the house, like I said, that's more than one. That's a team of people shooting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because one or two people eventually, unless they were all had automatics, you're gonna run out of bullets. And
definitely.
There wasn't a pause. You know what
not
I mean?
at all. They kept coming. Right.
You know, so I think it's Bianchi and his people.
Can we get into predictions?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think the next thing for me, you know how it comes on for us.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
I love the little predictions.
Yes.
So speaking of it being Bianchi, So I originally thought that, but also a little teaser watching the clip for next week's episode. I guess I'm not sure if it's Bianchi's office or where Waz is, but he's there threatening his employers. Like, where is he? Almost playing like, looks like he's going to play some
the
type
girlfriend,
of
and then yes,
yeah. So I do think it's him. And now he sent his people to do that job, because we still actually don't know where Bianchi is, because last episode he was gone.
The girlfriend said he was in
Italy,
right. Yes.
Really know if, I mean, hopefully, because Waz he put the gun all the way in her mouth. Like, you better tell me.
Yeah.
She possibly was telling the truth, but like, we don't know for sure his whereabouts. So, but I think it still was like his team. He put out the order for that to happen. Excuse me.
So for me, initially, before we found out the end, I thought Nate was going to release the tape. And I just thought that was going to be the end of, especially him and Waz's relationship. Waz I think he would have chose a team over his son. Yeah. But also then that would have caused some type of riffraff with Loman, because he was in his feelings and told way too much information. But now that we see he's in recovery and he'll pull through, I still think that tape's going to get in the wrong hands. I'm thinking Verco, he's going to come and try and visit and be sympathetic, and he's going to find his bag or his briefcase or wherever he has, or maybe he left it in the police station and he's going to go through it and find a tape. If not, on the positive side, I'm trying to be positive, I think Loman's gonna find it and destroy of it somehow, because he's trying to cover his tracks, because he told too much information to the wrong person. So yeah, I think one of those two ends will happen, but I hope Loman gets it.
Yeah. I think that, like we said, they're gonna stretch it out, but I do think Stahl is gonna find out about Miguel, and now his digging to see what Harlee's involvement was with that is going to begin. So I think like around next episode, we're gonna start to have the footwork to see how that's gonna play out. But we're gonna do the beginning of it.
Now that you say that, I just want the writers to send him on a wild goose chase hunt. Like, he found the truth. Okay, the lab's gonna mess it up. Harlee's gonna find out what he's doing. She's gonna go interject it or something, you know. But I hope once he finally sees it, we dig up this grave, no one's in there, not Sap or Miguel. I hope that
it was just the two.
Yes. And just lead them on a wild goose chase hunt on where both the bodies may be now.
Does not necessarily mean that something.
Does it?
I mean, I'm not a doctor, but like, I don't think you can tell if a tooth was pulled like postpartum.
I don't
or whatever
think
that's
so.
Called, after death.
Yeah.
Some like scars or bruises, like people can tell, like examiners can tell, like what if it happened after the person died. But I don't think with pulling a tooth, I don't think you'd be able to.
I don't think so too,
like,
but
if there isn't a body, just a tooth, that's easy to cover up.
And then even if so, it's just the tooth, you still don't know the totality of what happened and the whole truth of what happened. And again, something for him to dangle over, right? They lose their teeth all the time. Wisdom here, that's nothing. But no, it's just something else for him to kind of like dangle over Harlee's head and try to get her to come to his side, or something else to just torture her with, or whatever the case may be.
Thinking that he can bribe her, which he can't. Like, it hasn't worked yet, Stahl.
No.
But his brain doesn't work like a normal person.
Not at all. Not at all. The way he's obsessed with her, the way his rage with her is, I love it because you see it all in his eyes, like in his facial expression that he is as a character. But it's going to be the end of him.
Yeah. I have to look up his real name, but I will say he is a good actor because he plays that part. He dedicates himself to that part. He's very convincing. Because, like I said, my new nickname for him is a little crazy. Like, I believe this character. He's so good at what he does. Being crazy. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we will just have to wait until next week to see if our predictions come true. Another week. It's going to be another crazy episode. And I'm ready. I am ready. I can't wait. Yes. I hope you guys are excited too. And then you come back and join us on the after show so we can talk about it. And listen, hit us up on YouTube in the comments if you guys have any comments and any suggestions for us as well. Once again, I'm Lynneisha. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Lynneisha_33. And I am Taquaila. Please come be social with me at Taquaila_I am. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.